Welcome, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us here in a new year and a new you. And each week, we just want to bring you some value. I know last week we talked about chiropractic care along with many other subjects, but today we are going to talk about reducing your toxic load. My name is Lynn Baird, and my good friend Liz is here to share as well. She has a lot of knowledge on this subject. Liz is a health coach and she's had quite a journey and become a Lyme specialist. So, we're going to dive in and hope we can bring you some value and little things you can do to improve your health for yourself, your family, and just life in general. So, Liz, I know you have a lot of wisdom to share about this subject and just swaps that we can make to lower our toxins in our everyday life. Why do you think people are starting to become interested in this subject of a non or low toxic lifestyle?
Lynn, it is a great question. I actually have some slides that I'm going to pull up because I feel like they do a really good job of helping explain the toxic load that we are under. And Lynn highlighted a little bit that I've become a health coach and a Lyme specialist primarily through my own journey with chronic illness. And when I first got a diagnosis, it was very overwhelming because they wanted me to reduce my toxic load. And honestly, I had no clue what that even meant. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to kind of share what it means to have this toxic load that so many of us are exposed to on a daily basis. So, all right. So as Lynn shared here, whoops, sorry, you guys, I'm going to back up here. Gotta love technology. Sorry, you guys. We're going to back all the way up. We're going to go through here. So we're going to be
There
talking
we
today
go.
about everyday toxins and how you can protect yourself from our toxic environment. So, did you guys know that literally 85,000 chemicals have been introduced since the Industrial Revolution? That is just bombarding us and our bodies and our cells. So, you might be wondering, you might know people who are experiencing poor health, and you might be wondering, why is this happening? Well, we're being hijacked daily. We are exposed to toxins in our food and water, heavy metals, minerals, pesticides, poor diet, environmental impacts. We've got pollution, we've got sun damage, household cleaners, beauty products, mold. You have personal stressors that are causing a toxic load on your body, from relationships to stress to poor sleep, inactivity, overworked, alcohol, smoking. And technology is ever so growing. And we know that it causes a lot of overstimulation, EMF exposure, blue lights, which can really affect your mood. So, all these things actually increase the oxidative stress level in your bodies that we're going to talk a little bit about later. But we know that it is probably not the best thing. It's actually dimming the lights on our systems. You might feel fatigued, and you might be wondering, what might that look like? Um, Decreased immune support. You might have an immune system that might be dysfunctioning, causing brain fog, sluggishness, bad mood, increased stress, and fatigue. I don't know about you, but I know those are all things that I've experienced. And really learning about toxins and the role that they play in feeling this way, there's things that we can do. And Lynn and I are so excited to be here today sharing a little bit more about simple swaps and things that you can do to help reduce this toxic load on our bodies. And we know we don't want this to be overwhelming because we know that this doesn't happen overnight, but it's little things that we're going to share today that hopefully you can add in over time. So we are talking about all these toxins and the bombarding on our systems. We know that chronic disease and illnesses are on the rise. And we are seeing lots of conditions like autism, ADHD, asthma, allergies, childhood obesity, thyroid, autoimmune, infertility. This is because of all the toxins that are bombarding our bodies. And there's things that we can do about that. So 1 in 3 people we know now are developing cancer, and doing the things like you guys are trying to help with healthy habits and things. This is just knowledge is power, and you can use it to your advantage.
Wow, that is a lot of information, but it just answers so many questions when you look at the big picture of what can cause the health crisis that we're actually seeing in our country. And I know toxicity is a huge part of that. But, what Why should we care, I guess, is so important, but also what can we do on our end? Like you said, it was overwhelming when you first learned you had to lower your toxic load, but I think there's little things that we can do to make changes. So what are your thoughts on what we can do in our everyday life once we start to understand some of this?
Absolutely. These are just some more things, you guys, that when we talk about stress actually affects every different system in the body, creating inflammation. And inflammation, we know enough, drives disease, illness, and all that kind of thing. So, why should we care and what can we do? Lynn, those are great questions. Some simple things that we could start with was our personal care products, like what we're putting on our skin. Our skin is our largest organ. It absorbs toxins from our products within 20 to 30 seconds. So that's going
Wow.
right into your bloodstream. So that's something that we have to be very conscious of what we're using on our skin. And I know for myself, I was not really um, educated. I didn't really know. I just figured if it was on the store shelves, it was fine. Why? I mean, what would be the harmful use for it, for using it? And unfortunately, there's just not a lot of regulations in place that limit some of these toxins that can truly impact our endocrine system, especially. Um, so things like starting with your deodorant, your skincare, your shampoo, your conditioners. You want to look for brands free from parabens, sulfates, phthalates, synthetic fragrances. These ingredients can mess with your hormones and definitely irritate your skin. Something that I was introduced to when I linked arms with our company was our amazing skincare line. And I can truly tell you, even from my dermatologist perspective, it has just been a game changer for my skin. It's free of all the guck. It's got actually NRF2 active, so it's working at a cellular level to help repair some of that damage that was done from sun or pollution. I lived in Phoenix for 8.5 years in California, so I have seen such a reverse in some of the sun damage that I guiltily indulged in. So it's been really, really great thing here. And we've got a couple friends here on the left that we just wanted to show you a couple pictures. There's lots of great product lines out here. I'm just speaking to ours because I know the science behind it. My friend Karen, you can see on the left side of her face and right side of the face, she did this on purpose. So for 30 days, she only used our skincare on the left side. If we're looking at her, you can see a difference on the right side. It's actually reversing signs of aging and helping with some of the oxidative stress that's in the skin. And you can see the brightening, fine lines, that kind of thing. And the gentleman on the left did the same thing. I'm sure you can pick out which side he used the product line on. Um, so really interesting stuff as far as when you start using cleaner products and your skin detoxes and you get into a better state of health, um, it really is a huge impact on overall wellness. So Lynn, knowing you are a stylist and you've had a salon for over 40 years and you've been in the hair industry, could you speak a little about what you can tell us about toxins and our hair care products and what you've noticed over the years?
I sure can because I've been touching people's heads for 40 years now. And I noticed really early on in my career that my client's hair was starting to thin and at younger ages. And it just didn't seem right to me. So I actually started researching many, many years ago, and I discovered that the toxicity in our environment absorbs into your scalp and your follicles is where your hair grows. And because it can mimic hormones and change and alter, it affects hair growth. So I learned so early on, and I still believe it's so important of what you put on your scalp, not only to minimize the toxic load, but also to remove it. And I think what I love about our skincare line, which I do use, or our hair care line, I do use in our salon on my clients with thinning hair and myself personally, is that not only does it remove, it's a natural detoxifier, but it protects against environmental toxins. And then it's also patented, so it helps stimulate hair growth. And kind of a fun fact, a friend of ours was getting her scalp analyzed through a scalp specialist where she looks under a microscope at your scalp. And she said that is literally the cleanest scalp I've ever seen in my life. And it's because she actually uses our non-toxic hairline. So it is really important to think about what you buy, what you put on your head. I know a lot of times in the grocery store, you can get something that's very inexpensive. However, there's a lot of synthetic silicones and ingredients that shouldn't even be touching our body, and they can build up over time and cause actual hair loss. So it is really important to look at the big picture, and just little changes that you can make to switch out your products is going to perhaps even extend your life. I know that sounds extreme, but what we use, we absorb, like Liz said earlier. So it is really important. It is a passion of mine to be very, very careful what I use, what touches our skin. This is safe enough to use on even toddlers and babies. I've had our scalp serum used on cradle cap for little ones, and it actually helped clear it up. So yes, I'm a huge advocate in just removing toxicity from your scalp. Then your hair is going to be healthier. It's so important, and there's so much you can do. So thank you for bringing that up because that's a passion of mine. So
Yeah,
let's maybe,
I would
we've
too.
talked about our body. Let's move into the kitchen because what we eat matters and what we're dealing with. So Liz, what are your thoughts on things that we can do in the kitchen swaps, if you will, to have less toxicity?
Absolutely. And before I go into the kitchen, I just wanted to add something that Lynn kind of sparked my um, I just remembered to mention, besides skincare and hair care, beauty as far as cosmetics and that kind of thing is also something you need to take in consideration. And on the last slide we shared, there were some numbers on the bottom. There's a great app. It's called the EWG app. And there's other apps out there too, but you can actually download the app and it has a scanner and you can scan the products and actually will come up with toxicity levels, and you want it between 0 and 1. Like it's one of those things. It's the lowest that you can get on the toxicity as far as where the products rank, but that gives you a good idea too of what different ingredients might be causing some of the higher toxicity. So I just wanted to add that because I saw
Oh,
that on our
yeah.
last slide. But
Good
let's go to
advice. Thank you.
Yes, let's go to the kitchen. This
Hey.
is a great place to start as well because I know all of us have lots of different things in our kitchen that might be causing some health issues that we didn't even know were a problem. So, switching to glass or stainless steel food storage containers instead of plastic. Plastic can leach chemicals. It's another form of toxicity. Upgrading your cookware, nonstick pans can often contain harmful chemicals, so look for ceramic, cast iron, or stainless steel. This was something that I just did within the past year. There's so many swaps and it can be overwhelming. So do these things over time. Start with one thing and then move on to the next. Buying organic produce when you can, especially for items on the dirty dozen list. If you don't know what the dirty dozen is, go look it up. You can find it online and it shows you which vegetables and fruits might be high on there. It's just basically to reduce the pesticide exposure that can be on those items. So another tip is your water. You should be drinking half your body weight in ounces per day of water, and you want it to be good, clean water. Tap water can contain chlorine, heavy metals, and other contaminants. So investing in a good water filter. I know we have a reverse osmosis system. There's so many different ones out there, but just can really be a great low tox change because water is such a crucial part of our health, and we should be drinking so much of it daily.
I love all these swaps. And that just reminded me when you were talking about water, even for your hair, I highly recommend using a filter in your shower head. I use the Aquabliss one. You can buy it on Amazon. And basically, it's super easy to add. And even though I have a water softener, you know that certain things can get through. So using that in your shower filter so that the water that runs on your body every day is not absorbing more toxins. So good point. I love these swaps. So then that leads me to think about cleaning products. Like, what can we do with cleaning products maybe to lower our toxicity? Because there's a lot of them out there that are not safe. So, Liz, what are your thoughts on that in cleaning supplies? I know for me personally, I'm a huge proponent of using vinegar, hydrogen peroxide, baking soda. I make a lot of my own cleaners, but what can you share with us that's going to help making little swaps in cleaning to be safer as well?
Yeah, definitely, Lynn. I'm right there with you. I use all those items as well to make my own cleaners. But there are great product lines out there that have less toxins in them. So, do your research. Like I said, that EWG app's a great place to try to find those. But we know that a lot of the ones that we see in the store are loaded with harsh chemicals. So switching to plant-based cleaners is a great idea. Making your own, like we suggested. I know a friend who's really into essential oils, and she has some great oils that really help with disinfecting and cleaning. So that's always a great, simple, effective alternative as well. Um, and I wanted to mention too, as far as like our air quality, we're in our homes, so especially the winter here in Michigan, I know it's freezing, but getting some fresh air into your house can always be helpful. Using an air purifier, um, household plants. Plants are a great source for good oxygen. They can make a huge difference in reducing indoor toxins as well. So, yeah, there's so many ideas that we're throwing at you. So don't feel like you need to implement these all today, but these are just great ways that you can, reduce that toxic load as well.
I love that. And every little change leads to big changes over time. You never want to feel overwhelmed in life because we all live a very busy lifestyle, but just making small changes here and there, being aware is going to make a difference overall. And another fun fact about houseplants is they actually reduce EMFs. And since we're all on our devices, that is just a great thing to start to have. And I don't know, they just make you happy. I love plants and I keep getting more and adding more. So yeah, we've talked about reducing toxic exposure. So we're talking on the outside realm, but what about on the inside of our bodies? What can we personally do to remove those toxins, detoxify, if you will, and make a difference on the inside, Liz? Tell me your thoughts on that.
Yes. I feel like if there's one subject that I can really speak on is detoxification. Like I said, I got a Lyme diagnosis and it was very overwhelming. And I have a couple of pathways in my body that really hinder detoxification. So this is something I really had to dive into. And I'm going to share my screen again. And I want to take a look at all these different things that we can use for helping with detox. All right, there's quite the list on this plate, and we're not going to go over all of these, but this just gives you a good idea of ways that you can naturally detox your body. I know that something for myself that's been a big thing, dry brushing. I started doing that probably 7 years ago. I just have one by the shower and I do it in the shower so that, of course, any dead skin or anything goes into the shower. Lemon water is a simple way to detoxify. I try to do it as frequently as I can, but like in the morning, if you drink a full glass of water with lemon in it, that is just a great way to start your day. Helps flush out those toxins that have settled overnight. Vitamin C. We've got foot baths. We've Epsom salt baths. That's an easy way, something you could do at your home. A lot of these activated charcoal is a good binder that you can help pull toxins from your body. We bought an infrared sauna last year, and I'm not even kidding. It's been my best friend ever since. Infrared saunas are really good for detoxifying. Exercise. There's a lot of different things. Hydration, if I were to pick three, I can say hydration, eating good vegetables like broccoli and kale, they help support your liver. So any foods that help support your liver function, your kidneys, those are all things that help detox. They get the toxins. That's where we detoxify through. So that helps support them. Exercise is a big thing for myself. I know that a lot of people have like the little rebounding trampolines now, and those are really helpful for getting your lymphatic system up and moving. But I can tell you all these things are great, and any little thing that you do will add up. Uh, and I'm not saying to go out and do all these things, but these are just some ideas for you. Something super simple, though, that I was introduced to 6 years ago was NRF2 activation. And knowing what I was going through on my health journey and knowing that I had impaired detoxification system, it really stood out to me. Your NRF2 is a pathway. It's a protein. It's responsible for supporting your antioxidants and detoxification defenses. And so a lot of you that have been in this group probably have learned a little bit about NRF2 activation. And if you haven't, this is a great introduction to what it does and how important it is for the body. So you cannot ingest enough antioxidants from our food to impact free radicals. And we talked in the beginning about oxidative stress and how that just compiles in your body in significant ways. So like our food sources are great. Like you want to eat your blueberries, you want to eat antioxidants, but it's like one blueberry gets rid of one free radical, and you have trillions of free radicals in your body. But you can activate this key enzymes that increase your antioxidant production. in huge amounts, proven to drastically reduce oxidative stress in your body. And in this NRF2 activation, it's like I said, it supports your own production of powerful antioxidants. It reduces oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. Um, it significantly reduces cellular stress through NRF2 activation, like I had said. It produces enzymes capable of neutralizing more than 1 million free radicals per second. So for 24 hours for the life of the enzyme. So it is, I can't even remember how many blueberries it's eating, but it's like putting a fire hose in your body instead of just like a little Dixie cup. It's really helping lower that inflammation in your body.
That is
And it,
powerful.
yeah, and it's natural. Five herbs and synergistically have this effect together. So this is something that I will not go a day without. I know it helps my body detoxify, and I know Lynn has been a true believer, just as I have for just as long. And it helps to detoxify our genes and regulates its survival genes. So really important stuff, and something I can't stress enough as far as the support that it's had on our detoxification.
That is like a great combination of just lifestyle habits, but then things that we can do specifically to target our body's own defense system because I just don't think we can possibly do enough. So having that support alongside is huge to be able to combat those free radicals. So I love this. I love this information and I hope that this is helpful to everyone that's listening. So for somebody that's just starting out to say, all right, I need to make some changes, what's your advice for how to make these changes stick? Because I know we all start out with good intentions in the new year, and then it's easy like to kind of fall away. So what can we do to really make this become a lifestyle?
Good question, Lynn. You start small. Start small and focus on one area at a time. If there's and that's personal. It's one of those decisions that you can make for yourself, what you think is obtainable, because then you know you're going to follow through and stick with it. So I would definitely say start small. Um, Maybe you begin with your personal hair care, personal products, and then move on to cleaning supplies or kitchen swaps. Um, Keep track of how you feel, your energy, if your skin is clear, if you're getting better sleep. Seeing those results will actually motivate you to keep going. And don't forget the power of community. You guys are all a part of Life Activated, and this wellness community is like no other. I'm so grateful for it for my own personal use as well. I love, sharing tips and wins with others will make the journey so much easier.
Yeah, that's true. Just the accountability and just even you and my relationship, it's like we kind of spur each other on. I love that. And you know what? It's all about progress, not perfection, because nobody's going to get it perfect. I will admit, I ate a bowl of potato chips last night. Do I do that every day? No, but I did. And that's okay. Every day's a new day. And just to make good changes and good habits is going to be a better you because really at the end of the day, that's what we all want is good health, quality of life, and it's so achievable in spite of everything that we're up against. So I just I want to challenge everyone that's listening today to just find little things that they can switch, that they can change, that they can swap, like Liz said. We all can do this. Write a list and then maybe just check it every day. Reach out to us. We're happy to be your accountability partner. So thank you so much for sharing like all these valuable insights. I know that you have made a lot of good lifestyle changes for you and your family, but I know activation has been really powerful as well. And the same for me. I'm so thankful that somebody shared it with me, but I'm also so thankful that knowledge is power and I keep learning new things. Like just today, I saw Seltzer Gold on there. I didn't know that that was a detoxifier, so I learned something new. I love that. And then we can in turn help others around us. So, what a what are your final thoughts as we close today that we can share with everybody on our subject that we've talked about?
Honestly, Lynn, I think you just did a great job of wrapping it up. Small changes that you make is going to better your future and your health. And, I just really encourage you, a low tax lifestyle might seem overwhelming, but once you start making the simple changes, you won't know honestly, I can't even, it's not hard. It gets easier with time. And like Lynn said, it's not about being perfect, it's about being intentional. And I think when you're intentional about something, you're creating a healthier environment for you and your family. So I'll leave it
I
at that.
love that. All right, everyone, let's make 2025 a fantastic year. And one of your new goals is to lower your toxicity. Your body will thank you. Be well. God bless.